All right, guys. So Miss Winsome Sears apparently shook the world by challenging Joy Reid to a debate, or at the very least a conversation about the claims that Joy Reid has been making in regards to the Virginia election being all about white supremacy, right? And this comes as the mainstream liberal media has ignored Miss Winsome Sears, who has made history in Virginia. Being not only the first woman to be elected lieutenant governor, but also the first so-called woman of color to be elected to that position as well. And while the liberal media was celebrating, the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, being the second, I guess, black mayor of New York City, and I think there was an Asian lady that won the Boston mayor race, they were celebrating that as historic victories, right? Because they're Democrats. However, when it came to Ms. Winsome Sears, they had nothing to say whatsoever. Almost as if her minority status doesn't matter anymore, simply because she doesn't agree with their ideas. And because of that, it's not worth celebrating the history that she made. However, Ms. Winsome Sears called out Joy Reid on this and challenged Joy Reid to a conversation which she would go on Joy Reid's show and actually talk about the issues. And I want you guys to listen to Ms. Winsome Sears in the conversation that we was having on Fox News, in which she issued this challenge to Joy Reid. Take a look.
When you just said, I'm black, if you haven't noticed, I think were your words. And then you said, but it's not about that. What did you mean by that?
Because we are framing too many issues in terms of race, and it just continues to divide us. And unfortunately, politicians are using it as a tool because of the things that have happened to us historically to advance, I would think, their nefarious purposes. And so if we stop just looking at race and just looking at people, because you see, I'm destroying all the narratives about race.
Here's what Joy Reid said last night, and I want to just get a quick response from you, if I can, over on MSNBC about the Youngkin win and your win. Watch this.
You have to be willing to vocalize that these Republicans are dangerous, that this isn't a party that's just another political party that disagrees with us on tax policy, that at this point, they're dangerous. They're dangerous to our national security, because stoking that kind of soft white nationalism eventually leads to the hardcore stuff.
Your reaction to that, Ms. Sears?
I wish Joy Reid would invite me on her show. Let's see if she's woman enough to do that. I'd go in a heartbeat and we have a real discussion without Joy speaking about me behind my back, if you will. She talks about white supremacy. Does she know that I ran against a white supremacist? I mean, Joy, come on, get your facts straight and then come talk to me.
All right, guys, so you seen that, you heard that, right? She's challenging Joy Reid to a conversation on Joy Reid's show. Right now, I wonder if Joy Reid is going to take this up. I highly, highly, highly doubt it. And the reason why is because these woke revolutionaries, they want to sit in their soapbox on the left and just shout out their racist and wrong ideas and not be challenged on it. They never want to be challenged on it. They will never bring on somebody that does not fit the narrative that they want. They just won't do it. Okay, so I don't expect Joy Reid to actually take her up on that offer. Now, if she does, hey, I'm going to tell you, that's going to be world-class entertainment, right? I would love to see them have a conversation. But even if they did, I think it would kind of go the same way it went with Christopher Rufo, when Joy Reid basically just talked over him and didn't let him get in any of his points because she didn't want her audience to hear anything that was actually truthful. Now, Joy Reid is not the only race hustler that is being called out, as Larry Elder has called out Dr. Ibram X. Kendi, right? In a tweet in which he says, only in America can black victimocrats like Dr. Ibram become wealthy by telling white people how they prevent black people from becoming wealthy. Is this a great country or what? So Ibram actually responded to this and says, only in America can black people become wealthy by telling white people that they have 10 times the median wealth of black people because they are superior and not racism. No need to finance minstrel shows anymore when they can finance Larry Elder. So again, Ibram X. Kendi here, throwing out basically racial slurs at Larry Elder, because again, they don't really have any other real rebuttal outside of, talking about racism. And Larry Elder says, Dr. Ibram, I invite you on my show to discuss the root cause of black income / net worth, quote unquote, inequality. I'll follow you. Please follow me back so we can make arrangements. Looking forward to our discussion. So Larry Elder said, look, all right, cool. You want to talk about money? Let's put our money where our mouth is and actually have a conversation. Let's have a discussion about black income and inequality, right? And Ibram X. Kendi responds in a way that nobody should be surprised by. He says, I won't be joining your minstrel show, but here's a list if you care to learn about the issues of the racial wealth gap. And then he goes to list a bunch of woke books about, I guess, whiteness and wealth, right? Just summarized by this first book title right here. Okay. So again, they're not interested in having a conversation, right? Joy Reid is not going to have a conversation with Winsome Sears, and Ibram X. Kendi is not going to have a conversation with Larry Elder. Black liberals don't want to have a conversation with black conservatives. The reason why they don't want to have a conversation is because they know that they cannot win on the issues, right? They know that black conservatives, especially successful black conservatives, represent a counterexample to everything that they make money off of, which is black victimhood, right? Telling black people they're victims, that white supremacy is holding them back, yada, yada, yada. But yet when you have people who are successful, right, despite the so-called systemic racism, their brains explode, right, to the point where they can't fathom having a conversation. So what they end up doing is that they take the low IQ approach and they end up throwing out racial slurs. They call you a sellout and blah, 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 yada, 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 your minstrel show. We all know, right? That's what they do, okay? And at the same time, they continue to preach anti-white racism that ultimately is hurting the Democrat Party, right? It's hurting the Democrat Party. The racial extremists on the left are hurting the Democrat Party, right? That's what's happening. People like Ibram X. Kendi and Joy Reid are hurting them because what a lot of people are hearing and associating with the Democrat Party is anti-white racism, right? And if you want an example of it, look no further than Miss Joy Reid Light, who, like the rest of the liberal media, decided to double down on this anti-white racism after the VA election loss.
But let's be honest, here's the thing. All those takes are like searching the edges while refusing to see what's staring right back at you. And I can assure you, black voters in Virginia are not shocked by the so-called Youngkin shocker. This isn't about enthusiasm. This isn't about Democrats not doing enough to exercise their base. And this definitely is not about messaging or even about beloved. This is about the fact that a good chunk of voters out there are okay with white supremacy. Let's call a thing a thing.
Hey, so like I've said before, and I'll say it time and time again, if the Democrats want to keep rolling with this, if the liberal media wants to keep rolling with this anti-white narrative that they're pushing, right? If they want to keep endorsing people like, Joy Reid Light, Joy Reid, Don Lemon, Ibram X. Kendi, if they want to keep endorsing that stuff, if they want to keep pushing this stuff in schools, right? If they want to keep pushing racial segregation, if they want to keep pushing this racial rhetoric, hey, you know what? Be my guest. Go for it, because it is a losing message. And at the end of the day, the Democrats, they're turning off people in their party and independents who are not on board with this. And it's funny because to me, they want to complain about the GOP and their campaign against critical race theory, right? But they've given the GOP all the ammunition that they need to effectively say that, yeah, the left, look at them, they're anti-white bigots, right? Why would you vote for that? And a lot of people are going to resonate with that, right? And that's just, it is what it is. So if you want to keep doing that, you want to keep pushing that, knowing that a majority of the country is white, right? Then, hey, be my guest. Keep doing that. But just don't sit here and boohoo and cry when you lose in 2022 and 2024, right? I don't want to hear about the whole racism thing because these people are the biggest racists in this country. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.